There's so much fun and excitement in any given real estate transaction, but what we're going to talk about today is not one of the most glamorous or hyped up parts, but it is so important, and that's the forms. And we're going to start with the disclosure that really should kick off any real estate transaction here in North Carolina. And we're going to be talking more today about the tenant landlord side, specifically the tenant, but you can see another video on the channel where we talk about the exact same disclosure, just minor tweaks in the phrasing for both buyers and sellers as well. But this is to all my tenants out there or prospective tenants. And the first thing I want to do is read through it verbatim, because so many times I think this gets signed without either the agent or the tenant taking the time to read through it word for word. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to take it a step further, and we're going to break it down a little bit. So here it is, word for word. This is working with real estate agents, lease transactions for tenants. And there's even a little note at the top, which kind of reiterates what I had just said. This form is designed for use by agents working with tenants. It is similar, but not identical, to the working with real estate agents disclosure for buyers, published by North Carolina Real Estate Commission, available as NCR Standard Form number 520, which must be used by agents working with buyers. The first little box at the top, and you can kind of see that right here. Important, this form is not a contract. Signing this disclosure only means you have received it. In real estate lease transaction, it is important that you understand whether an agent represents you. Real estate agents should 1. Review this form with you at first substantial contact before asking for or receiving your confidential information, and 2. Give you a form of it after you sign it. This is for your own protection. Do not share any confidential information with a real estate agent or assume the agent is acting on your behalf until you have entered into an agreement with the agent to represent you. Otherwise, the agent can share your confidential information with others. Note to agent, check all relationship types that may apply to this tenant. And that's the second box on here, where we're going to look at these 4, or really 3.5 agency types, and you will see that in a second. But the most important line we've read so far is this is to protect you, talking to the consumer. And even though it may seem like a pain to go through all these disclosures, all these forms and contracts, it really is to protect you and to make sure you're making a secure financial real estate transaction. So let's see the 4 types of tenancy. Number 1, tenant agency. If you agree, the agent who gave you this form, the agent's firm, would represent you as tenant agent and be loyal to you. You may begin with an oral agreement, but your agent must enter into a written tenant agency agreement with you before making a written or oral offer for you. The landlord would either be represented by an agent affiliated with a different real estate firm or be unrepresented. The next box, which is the kind of like 1.5, is dual agency and designated dual agency. Dual agency will occur if you lease a property listed by the firm that represents you. If you agree, the real estate firm and any agent with the same firm or company should be permitted to represent you and the landlord at the same time. A dual agent's loyalty would be divided between you and the landlord, but the firm and its agents must treat you and the landlord fairly and equally and cannot help you gain an advantage over the other party. Designated dual agency, if you agree, the real estate firm would represent both you and the landlord, but the firm would designate one agent to represent you and a different agent to represent the landlord. Each designated agent would be loyal only to their client. Any agreement between you and an agent that permits dual agency must be put in writing no later than the time you make an offer to lease. Unrepresented tenant, landlord subagent. The agent who gave you this form may assist you in your lease, but will not be representing you and has no loyalty to you. The agent will represent the landlord and is required to give the landlord any information about you, even personal, financial, or confidential information, that would help the landlord in the lease of their property. Note to tenant: for more information on an agent's duties and services, refer to the North Carolina Real Estate Commission's Questions and Answers on Working with Real Estate Agents brochure at ncrec.gov, publications, Q&A brochures, or ask an agent for a copy of it. It will also be in the description of this video. And then the last thing at the bottom, you have the signature spaces. You'll have the tenant name, tenant signature, and the date, as well as the agent name, the agent's license number, and the firm name. And you can see that well here. Now, that was a lot of legalese, 5 minutes of me just reading, and I apologize. Thank you if you did stick it through to this point. But now let's hit the key points that are on here. And I think the first is in that just note at the very top where it says must be used for agents working with buyers. And so that's talking about kind of the sister agreement in the buyer-seller transaction, but the same concept here, having an understanding of the different type of agency, how you're represented in your transaction is the first step to entering into a real estate transaction. Now, right under the word important, so good indicator it may be important here, it says this form is not a contract. Signing this disclosure only means you have received it. And this is at the first time that we have substantive contact, or, the first time we have that real estate talk. We haven't shared any details yet. And so here's the 4 different type of agencies. My recommendation, of course, is always going to be to represent tenant agency. It's as it says, you can begin with an oral agreement, but you must enter into written tenancy agreement before making a written offer. And this is going to be where you have your full protection. Dual agency and designated dual agency are still forms of agency, but it's where the agent is going to represent both you and the landlord in the same transaction. That would be like a full dual agency. For example, if you like my listing and I were to represent both of you. Another form, if you want a little bit more separation than that, is designated dual agency. So the same firm is still representing both sides. But now let's say I let Andy represent you as your agent, and he's going to have loyalty to you, whereas I'll still have loyalty to my landlord as I'm the listing agent in that hypothetical situation. Now, the last form is unrepresented tenant agency, which if I'm giving you this form, that's what we have right now until we sign something further. And there's a couple clauses I just want to reread from here. The agent who gave you this form may assist you, but will not be representing you and has no loyalty to you. The agent will represent the landlord. And so essentially, until you and I do enter into an agency agreement, I am happy to present you with properties, but as this form says very clearly, do not release any information to me, not because I'm trying to harm you or anything like that, but just due to the structure of these contracts, until we enter into an agency agreement, I am a subagent of the landlord. So hopefully this made it clear. You're going to receive this in your email momentarily if it's not already there. But if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call immediately. And check out the channel, like and subscribe. We're going to go through all the forms you need to know from this one right here until a successful closing.